Hey everybody, Nicola here, light worker, ascending up into the universe and beyond, assisting you on your journey, and I do hope that you enjoy my video content. If so, please like and subscribe. Check out all my details below. This is the third video to a playlist of grid work for yourselves as light workers. The first video was talking about you as a pin in the pin cushion, looking at where you are drawn to go to. The second video, which was this, was actually looking at dark portals, negative portals that are anchoring in grid works of a lower density. So check out the playlist also that I have for you, which is the distorted field video. So I'll put a link to that hopefully somewhere in the cards. If not, just look at my playlist, that'll be on there, okay? So we know then that when we looked at that second video, which is about you might be feeling that you want to walk around in a turning right direction, but to reverse the portal, we set our intentions, we anchor our energy into the field, and we then allow the energy with our intention to reverse. So we are guided through the process. There is a mission within it. It's a divine mission that breadcrumbs you to that location. Okay, let's move on from there, please. Alagianto dabari mikosha makiatan, tabakosha makiatan, ilakianto dabahu ni mokulakiatan, nokolakau siktikene wastuktudum golowasa, solan goloquate umbalakiten, alakiano to the besa mukulawa, ela mokolakianta da disa mokolovakiatan, the mikushikinikieten asha. We're going to look at Gridwork system, which is actually working with others. So Gridwork system with working with others. If you're drawn to a place in a group of people, it usually finds that you'll find that it is in a group of 3 people. It's quite uncanny actually that if you're going somewhere and there are 3 people, it's usually because that you're actually going, because there is a Gridwork system to do, because each pin will hold a space, okay? And as you hold the space, you're creating a triangle, okay? And at this point, when we're actually working in a 3, we might be then activating a portal, okay? So we're looking at activating. So we've talked about the reversals, and now we're going to be talking about bringing in a completely new system. The new systems normally work from that of an old portal that is either running or needs a reversal, okay? So you might get a portal that's already up and running. But what we're doing is we're extending into a new system of an amplification of that to ignite within the Gridwork system of the earth, to amplify and to upgrade the system by being a conduit. We're working with others to bring in a new sense of an upgraded version, okay? So it'd be more of a Gridwork working with others to amplify it. You can also do this singularly, but you're using maybe a tree or a stone, a big rock in the system. So I've done that work before where rather than having people with me, I anchor in the portals using trees around me. But this then brings in this beautiful portal that works here, okay? So these might be then trees instead of people, or they might be rocks, okay? It depends. It depends if you're working singly or whether you're actually anchoring it into trees as conduits. It doesn't matter, or if there are people around you that you're anchoring it in. It just depends on the mission that you're at. But the understanding of that grid work is going to just assist you with understanding what it is that you're actually doing in the first place. Or the clarification of what you're doing is absolutely, what I'm getting through my experience. So I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you that these are the possibilities of your own experience, which is always good to know, isn't it? From my perspective, this is how it's always worked for me. So we're either working with other people, which is others, or other stones. So you can anchor into stones within a triangular system, or others as being trees as conduits. Da. Lalia makushimakieta, sanemikiota makusha. It is all about the anchoring of light. Moving the darkness out of the system. That's what Gridwork's all about ultimately, is the lifting of the grids. Alagianta tabaisimo kusha makiata, alakianta tabasukudono lokaikwe. Suloko kan imokulakiata, tesimakiata no mokulakwesha. Tukine makalaka tukine ola kuyokulakiana agadabadigana makayo kushukanimikito no makusha. So within this system here, we've got a reversal of energy or an activation of energy as it's anchored into a placement here upon the grid. Now, if you actually look at some of the videos that I did, which is about light language, that brings in a sense of light language that goes through into a Gridwork system, and I did this sort of thing so that you've got grids coming across here, light codes, okay, it's sort of anchoring into the whole system of template work. So you might be doing some template work which is anchoring in to a system here and then upgrading the whole template. So you might have actually gone to a location and find yourself here, 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 here. You might be doing a wider grid work, so you might go down to Land's End and then up to Glastonbury, and then you're then going to London, then you're going to back to where I'm at here in East Sussex. So you might find yourself actually pinpointing yourself, working out a grid work system here, going into another place here when you're directed within your mission to here, and then you then anchor it down into here, and then you find yourself then anchoring it in here. It depends on the mission itself as well, but the understanding of that when you're taken to different locations, there's always a reason why you need to be there to anchor it in so that you can claim it later on for where you're at. Because if you've not been to a location, then you cannot anchor into where you've not been. Okay, if I'm going to anchor into this is about physicality, by the way, so not about doing upper grid work system, which is a completely different subject, which we'll talk about in the next video. But that on the boots ground, you have to have been there to anchor the light into that place, or the person that you're with that needs to have been there for the attraction or the connection to that place with boots on ground, right? So we're looking at that rather than the high perspective. Okay, thank you. Alagiana da basimo kolapi chukne kwalakiten lakaba pasimo kolakiatam. Elakianta da basimo kolakian kolabasobakina makiatam. You might find yourself bringing forward crystals. You might find that you're bringing stones, rocks, something that's creating a little grid on the ground. You might want to create a little invoking fire. You might start to use elements of water. All of that within a grid work activation, anchoring in light, will always bring that in. You might also find that it'd be just like literally like a minute. Okay, or it might be just a long process of half an hour or so, you know. The linear time within it really isn't, you know, it's just neither here or there. You do to how far it needs to be. When I did went on a trip with some friends, went down to Glastonbury, went through Stonehenge and anchored in light at Stonehenge to Avebury. Then we came back to Stonehenge, and we went to another location, which is Avebury, Stonehenge and Glastonbury, and we did a triangle, and then we had to complete the triangle by going back to Stonehenge on the way back home. And that again was a gridwork system that over 3-4 days worth of travel. So it's, you know, so it might be prolonged for the whole trip on the mission. And again, you'll be breadcrumbed along the journey of where you need to be in that now moment. So boots on ground, they can work through you. The galactics can assist with working the grids upon the earth. Okay, I do hope that this video has served you well in understanding that sometimes you are taken to locations and you don't know why you've been there or why, but because you've been there, you can anchor it in with your foresight, with your insight, shall I say, into creating a gridwork system upon the earth of feet on the ground. Okay, thank you very much for joining me on this playlist. I'm going to go in and look at a higher perspective of gridwork systems. And so please join me on that video. Check out all the other playlists as well as the distorted field and all the other playlists that I have. That as I learn and grow, I'm just going to project that understanding from my perspective. Okay, it's from my perspective. If this feels wrong to you, it's okay. Everybody will have a different piece of the jigsaw puzzle. This is how I work and have worked. So thank you very much for joining me. Please hit that notification bell if you want to understand where these videos are going to come in so that you're notified, like and subscribe and all that beautiful stuff. Okay, see you all soon.